Hi, welcome to another Avmor training video. Today we're going to do the OxyMixx dispenser. So like with all installs, I always recommend you lay everything out, make sure you have everything before you go ahead and start. So we've taken the unit out of the box, got our install kit, which includes our inline check valves, pickups, we have our pickup tubes. We also have, the unit comes with a high and low flow. So we also have our high flow discharge and our low flow discharge. Water inlet hose. Comes with a routing diagram for the pickup, because what we're going to do, which is unique to this dispenser, is going to draw from one product, one package from one product, and split it up into 4 different dilutions and a different flow rate. So this will help show us, and we'll go through that. We'll also get our instruction sheets, both in English and French, and a wall chart for operator use. So let's take a look at the dispenser. As you can see, it's already labeled, pre-labeled. It also, we have to pull our knob off to get into the dispenser. You can see there's a button on the top. We're going to push down on the button and pull at the same time. We're removing the front cover of the dispenser. You'll now notice that the dispenser comes pre-tipped. This has already been decided based on lab testing, so we know which tips are going to go for your customer's best use in utilizing this product. A couple other unique things about the dispenser. We have a swivel for our water inlet. This makes it much easier to install. Another, we can remove our whole adductor system by these clips, and we can pull out this manifold, thus giving us the box and the adductor system. Set that down, and I'm going to go through. If you can see, there's 2 black tabs on the inside of that box. I'm going to pop them down, turn it over, and you'll see we have a mounting bracket. Pull our mounting bracket off. Like our other dispensers, it's going to make it much easier when we go to install it on the wall. You'll also notice, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but it says this side to wall, and turning it over, this side up. So that's going to help us with the install. We need to make sure we have our correct tools, a level, because we'd like to have a nice, evenly placed dispenser. Our drill with a 5/16, Phillips screwdriver, and a pen to mark our holes. So our pen, and also some side cutters, because we have to do our routing diagram, so it's going to require a little bit of cutting, but we'll go through that. So next, we have our drill, we have everything. We also want to make sure we have our wall space that's well placed for operators to use, close to our water source, so we can get started on installing our mounting bracket. Okay, so we've got our mounting bracket up. Now we can take our cabinet that we showed you earlier without the manifold in place. We're going to pop it in. We're going to slide up our black clips, and we're ready. Next, what we need to do is we need to take our adductor, and we're going to run our tubes based on our instruction sheet that comes with the dispenser. So you'll notice I have 4 short ones, and I have 4 inline check valves. And I'm not sure if you'll see, but trust me, there's a slight arrow, and that arrow will point the chemical flow to the adductor. This being the adductor, the arrow pointing to it. What the check valve will do is maintains the product up to our tips. Thus, when we go and change to different dilutions, we maintain a much more consistent dilution, because we're not having to draw product up through an empty tube. We also have what we call barbed wires. And what the barbed wires will do, and if we can see in our instruction, we have Y connectors that allow us to tee off the product. So we actually have 3 of them. One that's going to be the start, coming up from the product. 2 that you're going to split off and allow yourself to go to each adductor. It's much easier if you can do this with the adductor out. That's what makes this so much more convenient. So how we're going to start, we want to route this, our chemical, through these holes. What we're going to do after is we're going to install an enclosure that we can lock the product in, but we want to route our product through these holes. So I'm going to take them to the back. How are we going to do that? We have our side cutters and we have our pickup tubing. Start off with small pieces of pickup tubing onto our adductor. So I'm going to slide a little bit on, as you can see, and then I'm going to cut. Same again. And we're really not concerned about which one we're doing or so on or so forth, because it's all pre-tipped. So you don't have to worry about that. All you're worrying about doing is getting it installed nice and straight and making sure that the staff are trained. So now I've got my 4 to start with. And this is where we're going to install our inline check valves, remembering the arrow pointing towards the adductor. I'll try and do this so you can see. 1, 2, the nice thing is you don't have to do this inside that cabinet. And my last one. Here's the starting. Then we have to do our next portion. The next portion we can use our stiff ones. We're going to slide them on. Then we're going to install our barbed wires. Our barbed wire slides on. This side, slide on that side. Slide on this side. Slide on this side. Now we're going to join these 2 together. How we're going to do that, let's go back to our pickup tubing. Slide our pickup tubing on. Come down a certain length. We don't have to go too far. I would say go down about 4 inches or so, 4 or 5, 4. Cut. Do the same on this side. Come down, cut, and we're going to put our final Y connector on, and I'll hold it up once we get it on so you have a really good idea. Now you can see we've taken 1, so if we look at the bottom being 1, and this will, once we install our cabinet, we'll cut that to length. We've taken that and we've split it 4 ways. Also, if we remember, I referred to what these inline check valves will do. You'll see they'll maintain your product up to this distance, so you're going to be much more consistent. If you're going to have dilution issues, you don't want to deal with product being drawn up, so this is going to help deal with that. So now I've installed my low flow or spray bottle discharge just to make it easier to get it into the unit. And now we're going to take this manifold and we're going to pop it into our unit. What I want to do, if you can see my pickup here, I'm going to actually put some of my discharge onto this so I can thread it through the hole. And I'm going to run it through this hole here on the top. Then when I get my enclosure up, we're going to be all ready and we can cut it to size at that point. Now, if you can see, I've got it in position. I'm making sure my tubing is routed nice and correctly. It's not pinching on anything. It's nice and clear. And now I'm just going to snap that manifold into place. It's locked in place. I'll leave my water inlet and we'll do that afterwards. So now I've got my pickup here and I want to mount a enclosure. This enclosure will hold our bottle, our EP50 bottle. It also has some instructions on it, so it's great just for the operators. It helps. We are going to encourage and have you put up a wall chart. This is just another way to get that message across of what this product does. So what I did was I've already marked the holes up to line the dispenser up just to make it easier for us. And I'm going to thread my pickup tube through this hole. And we're going to line it up on the 2 screws I've put in place. I'll tighten these screws down. Now, I'm going to go back to my install kit. If you remember, it comes with a cap, which is a standard 38 ml cap to fit our bottle, our product. Comes with a ceramic weight. It's an inert material, so the OxyMixx will not, or the EP50 will not degrade this. And it comes with a slight product screen in it. But what this intentionally is for is actually to hold our weight in place. First, we're going to put our cap on. Make sure you visualize that your cap with the top is at the top. That way, we can screw it onto our bottle. It's going to slide through our pickup. We're going to slide it up. I still haven't cut it, if you notice, because I'm going to grab my product and then I'm going to make sure it's all measured and nice and neat. And we want to have it so the user can change the bottle, so we want it long enough that they can actually take it out. So let me just grab my product. Okay, so I have my product, as you can see. And what I'm going to do is just set my product in first. My cap, I want to run my pickup tube down to the bottom before I cut it. But I want to make sure that the operator can get this out. So I'm going to give myself a little extra room. So now you can envision, here's how far I can get the bottle out. Maybe just a little shorter. Then I'm going to line it up with my hand, because we want them to get 100% usage. So we make sure we cut our pickup plenty long enough. Cut it. Slide my ceramic weight on. Put the little filter screen on. Then I'm going to remove the shipping cap. Thread in our new freshly cut. Tighten it up. Nice and easy. Make sure there's no kinks. As you can see, corners are fine. It's just not kinked. We're ready to go with our product. So the only thing we really have left to do is we're going to hook up our water inlet hose. I'll show you a neat way to do that. Just makes it so much easier. And then we'll put our cover on and we can start training. Put our high flow also. So with our water inlet, as you saw, with the swivel. So now I'm going to thread my water inlet through. You can see I pulled it through. Now I can easily tighten it up. And then as I push down, I'm pulling the slack through. And there we go. Now, we'll hook up this end to our hose bib or faucet, whatever we have. Next, I'm going to finish off by putting our mop bucket discharge or high flow discharge. If you recall on other installs, we want to slide our hose hook through, and obviously it's always going to be tight because once it goes on, it's going to stay on. So we want to have a nice tight fit, but just a little bit of manipulation. And you can see it's on there. That allows us for a nice neat install. Second, we're going to slide it up through this hole in the back of the dispenser and clipping it into that discharge portion on the back of the adductor. Happen to have another one here, I'll just show you. So our front, as you can see, is the short one, and the back is the long one, which runs through our mop buckets. Now once that's hooked up, we can slide our cover on. You'll notice the cover has two little clips here and the two holes here that line up. So we can slide them. Then we're going to manipulate it up, clip it on, and we'll put our knob back on. And the knob will only go a certain direction anyway. And then you'll notice the short stubby end of the knob points to whichever flow or product use you want. So we have on the far mop bucket, it's going to dispense through the long hose, top corner, and it says glass cleaner, multi-purpose cleaner, and disinfectant. Also, one other function, this is our activation button, but we also have the ability to lock it. Now you would only do that when you were filling up on number 4, the mop bucket or auto scrubbers, whatever. And to release it, just push the button to release. So we're going to finish off our install. Before we get the operators here to do our training, we're going to finish up the install with a nice colorful wall chart mounted above the dispenser or in a location that someone can see. It's got some great pictures on, so when you're not here, the operators can see. And also at this point, take your time, make sure everything's nice and clean. Remember, this is your name, this is your brand. This is something that's really important that your customers need to know, that you take pride in it. And lastly, if you look at the instruction sheets, we have a troubleshooting guide on the back of it. So should you come into any issues or whatever, you can refer to that. You can keep this with you, or we can make it available on the website if you like, however you want to do it. But this should cover any of the issues that may arise during the day-to-day operations.